Hey everybody, Scott from What You Seek, and today I am extremely excited to be showing you guys the Glashütte Original Senator Cosmopolite. Now, this is a travel watch, a world traveler watch. It's very unique in its movement. This has been around in precious metals since 2015, but new for 2018 in stainless steel. And before we get into what all of this is telling me here, let's get into the dimensions of this watch, and then we'll talk about the dial, the movement, and actually how to operate this watch a little bit. It's simply amazing. Now, one thing about high-end watches like this, photographs that you see online or my video here, it doesn't do the watch justice. The finishing on the case and on the movement is top notch. It's just out of this world. And if you're into watches and you've never really had a high-end watch like this in your hand, you owe it to yourself to stop into a dealer that carries Glashütte Original and just pick these up and look at them. They are stunning. So if you're traveling over the holiday season and you're in a city that has perhaps a boutique or somebody, a dealer that's selling these, just stop in and check them out. So let me zoom in here a little bit and let's talk about some of the dimensions on this watch. Now, this watch is a diameter of 44 millimeters. It is a little larger watch. We have a height here of 13.9. We have a lug-to-lug width of 51.5. So the very short lugs, and as you can see how they are downturn, this makes for an easy wearing watch. Yes, it is a little large, but there is a purpose for everything on this dial, and I think I like the size. I know I like the size here, the way that it allows me to read everything that I need to at a glance on the watch. I think if it was smaller, it wouldn't work as well. We have a strap width of 21 millimeters here. This watch here has a Louisiana alligator in a midnight blue. It's a stunning dark blue strap. Okay, so let's wait for it. Let's look at the back. Holy moly, that is amazing back there. So obviously we have an exhibition case back. You can see the off-center rotor there. We have hand engraved balance bridge there. It's a free sprung balance. It's a stunning, stunning movement. It works at 4 hertz, and at 4 hertz we have a power reserve of 72 hours, which is amazing. I'll get some close-up shots of that because my camera only allows me to get in so close, but this is an in-house movement. So beautiful, beautiful movement here. So let's talk about some of the functionality of what's going on here with this dial. Right in the center here, we have, this is our local time. So we have hours and minutes for local time. Our home time is in this sub-dial here at 12, as well as we have a crescent-shaped power reserve. You also have a day-night indicator for our home time. Down here at 6, we have a beautiful sub-dial showing our running seconds. We have the panorama date down here at 4. I mean, Glashütte Original, they're known for this beautiful execution of this date window here. Hey, let's pause the video for a second. I just want to take a minute to talk about how this date works on the Senator Cosmopolite. So a lot of other travel watches, the date is tied into the home time. With this watch, the date is tied into the local time. So as I travel and make adjustments so the time correlates with my local time, the date will adjust as well. Let's get back to the video. We have a day-night indicator for our local time. So you can see here, it's we're almost at 4 o'clock, and I can see by this indication here that it's 4 o'clock in the afternoon. So the crown here at 2 o'clock, this adjusts both my local and my home time. This crown here will adjust my local time, and this will adjust my destination that is shown in these two windows. The date is adjusted with this pusher on the side here. The dial itself is a stunning white dial. It is a matte dial. It seems to just absorb the light here, and it just gives such a beautiful white crisp dial. If you look at it close under a loop, you can see that there is just a subtle texture to everything. The printing that is on this dial is so crisp. It's probably some of the best printing I've ever seen on a dial. Absolutely beautiful. We have applied blue indices here going around at the hour marks here. The hands are blued. If we look at the hour hand here as I turn it, there is a shape to that hand. So it will pick up the highlights and shadows differently as it sees the light. It helps with legibility, but just the way that you sit there for hours just looking at that blue. We also have blue hands here for the local time, the home time, I'm sorry, and the running seconds. There is a depth to this dial as well. We look at the panorama date. There is a frame within a frame, so there's two levels to that opening there. And then you have the date below. And the subdials are beautifully sunken down from the main dial. And there is, you can see the silver highlight that goes around each of those two subdials. So definitely a lot of depth, a lot going on, but in true Teutonic fashion, it's so easy to read and at a glance get all the information that I need. So let's go over the Glashütte Original Senator Cosmopolite, how this guy operates, okay? The crown here at 2 o'clock this is my winding crown, so I can turn it here and I am winding up the mainspring on this watch. If we look right here in the subdial for my home time, you can see that crescent shape aperture there, that opening. When this is fully dark, that is a wound movement. The movement has a power reserve of 72 hours. If I take out this crown, and I'm going to do that with these gloves, there we go. So I pulled it out into the out position here. Now I am adjusting both sets of time for both my local time and my home time. So this is the initial setup. Let's just say it's 4 o'clock in the afternoon. I know it's 4 o'clock in the afternoon because this day-night indicator here, we're pointing to the sun, so I know that is 4 o'clock in the afternoon. So I can set that in there. Now, where I live, I am in the central time zone of the United States. So on this window here, I want for standard to show up with Mexico. That is the airport IATA airport code that corresponds to my time zone. So I'm going to open this, pull out this crown. Right now it's set for Pacific time, LAX there. So I'm going to turn this wrong. I can turn it both ways, right? So if I'm flying east or west, I can adjust for that. So let's go here and I'm going to look for Mexico. Turning, there's Denver. We're getting closer. And there is Mexico. Now you can see we have two windows, one for standard time and the other one for daylight savings time. Right now, this time of year, we're standard. So I am now set up with this opening here representing my central time zone in the United States. So now let's say I am traveling and I am going to go to London for holiday. So now I pull out this crown at 4 o'clock. And now when I adjust this, I will be adjusting my local time, the hand and the minutes here, the hours and minutes. So I'm moving this forward, and you can see it's jumping forward in 15-minute increments. The watch itself is still running. I did not change the minute settings. The seconds is still running. This is a hacking movement if I do want to set it to a reference time at the very beginning. So the reason there's 15-minute increments is there are 35 different time zones in our world. 24 of those are offset in an hour fashion, which you kind of see right here. I'm offset in 1 hour. My window here shows JFK. They're 1 hour ahead, and so I could be in New York for the afternoon, perhaps. I can see my home time here in the Central Time Zone is 4 p.m. So out of those 35 official time zones, 24 of those time zones are offset by the full hour. 8 of them are offset by half hour, and 3 time zones are offset by 3/4 of an hour. This watch can adjust for that. The time zones will show up in here. They will show up in, what are the colors? We have black if they are 1 hour, blue if we are half hour, and if they are 3/4 of an hour, they will be identified with a red code. So let's just say I'm going to London. So I'm going to continue moving on here. And what I'm looking for as I'm moving this forward is I am looking for London to show up in that window down at the bottom in the standard opening. So we're getting closer. And one more, I believe. And there we go. So you can see we have London in our standard opening there. So my local time zone, I'm going to push in that crown. My local time is 10 p.m. and this is indicated here by, you can see this hand here is now pointing to the night indication. My home time zone is 4 p.m. in the afternoon. Let me move. I'm going to adjust the time for a second. We're going to pretend we're moving forward in time because I want you to see that little opening is still white there, and I know that it's 4 p.m. in the afternoon back home. So very easy to operate. You can set it to the reference time. You're not going to lose that minute setting as you move through time zones. It's very easy to read, wonderful legible dial. So just a tour de force on movement design to get this Glashütte Original Senator Cosmopolite to tell the time in 35 different time zones. Okay, so let me show you the Glashütte Original Senator Cosmopolite on my wrist. Now my wrist size, I have 7¼ inch wrist, or about 18½ centimeters. Like I said, it's 44 millimeters in diameter, but it wears extremely well thanks to those sharply downturned lugs that really hug your wrist. So it has a beautiful dome sapphire crystal, AR coating on both sides. Really helps with the legibility. Just a wonderful watch sitting on the wrist. So my thoughts on the Glashütte Original Senator Cosmopolite. I mean, this watch really has something for everybody. So if you're into the technicality of a watch, this has got it. If you're looking for the beauty of hand finishing, this has it. If you're looking for the travel, this has it in spades. I mean, all the different time zones with the offsets in 30-minute or 3/4 of an hour increments. Plus, on top of all of that stuff that it does, I can quickly and easily look at this dial and see the time of the day, which is what we're wearing a watch for in the first place, right? So the legibility, the layout of the dial is so well thought out and so well executed. So the Glashütte Original Senator Cosmopolite has a U.S. retail price of $21,500 US. Hey, thanks for watching. If you liked the video, give it a thumbs up. Be sure to subscribe and leave comments below. Thanks for watching.